Final four, round 12. Craig, here we go.
Yes, sir.
And Merry Christmas to everyone. By the time you hear this episode, it will have already passed. It'll be Friday morning or later,
Yep.
depending on when you get this. But Merry Christmas, Craig. Merry Christmas, listeners. Round 11. Recap real quickly. The final four was Nick Drake, Pink Moon, George Harrison, All Things Must Pass, Guns N' Roses, Appetite for Destruction, and the Smiths, Louder Than Bombs. Now we're moving on to round 12. Got some tough choices to make. Once again, as always, this week I go first, so I'm ready to go.
All right. So your first two picks, oddly enough, back to back. Number 413 versus number 14, 414. Wire, Pink Flag came in at 413, and Minutemen, Double Nickels on the Dime came in at 414.
Yeah. I have tried a couple of times to really love that Minutemen album because so many people point to it, refer to it. It's just never grabbed me. And on the flip side, I've always been a Wire fan, especially those early records. So this is a pretty easy decision for me. It's Wire all the way. Man, do I want to love Minutemen. I love the idea. I love that album cover. And for some reason, every time I see that album cover, that dude looks just like Jimmy Kimmel to me. It's just so funny when you see that rearview mirror.
Yeah.
It looks like Jimmy Kimmel, but of course that was from whatever 1985. I don't know. Just it's never been a favorite, but do love Wire, so I'm going to go Pink Flag all the way.
Cool.
All right, you have number 363. Wow, that's just shocking to me. Smashing Pumpkins Siamese Dream versus 146 Jefferson Airplane Surrealistic Pillow.
All right. So, I mean, Jefferson Airplane's great, and it's so hard to believe that they have devolved into Starship, if we'll say that. I
Right.
have no idea what the lineup is pre or Airplane versus Starship. I'm sure it's vastly different. But anyway, and that's a classic. That's a great album, no doubt. But for me, I mean, literally, I had Gish when it was first released, became a big fan. That's my favorite album. But the progression to get from that to Siamese Dream is amazing. Just the sonic qualities, the guitar playing, everything about it. They just amp things up. I had never heard something so devastatingly loud and melodic at the same time. I love this album. So, I mean, this is very, very easy for me. Smashing Pumpkins, Siamese Dream. I got to go that route.
I, of course, would not say anything in advance, but now that you picked it, oh my gosh. And the fact that it was almost in the 400s, how in the world is that album at all the way back to 363, in my opinion? The thing with Jefferson Airplane, Jefferson Starship, and then Starship, I actually like the middle stuff the best. I like Jefferson Starship. Red Octopus, great album. I think one is called Point of No Return with Jane on it. I love that stuff. Winds of Change. And then when they went to Starship, it just all fell apart. It was a money grab. The big difference was Mickey Thomas. Mickey Thomas came in from Elvin Bishop's band, unbelievable lead singer.
Yeah.
And they were really good in the beginning when they were Jefferson Starship. And then when they switched over to Starship, it just lost us
Yeah.
completely. So yeah, I'm with you.
All right. You have got a couple more fours. A lot of fours are popping up in this list. I'm a little disappointed in the shuffler, but anyway. 417 is Tom Waits' Mule Variations. That goes up against Graham Parsons' Grievous Angel. That came in at 426.
I'm laughing because I'm just not even gonna spend a lot of time on this. I love Graham Parsons. I love everything that he was doing and that he stood for in terms of music, pulling together honky tonk and rock and roll and country all into one. International Submarine Band, the solo stuff I love. And I'm a big Emmylou Harris fan as well. So easy choice for me, Graham Parsons.
All right.
All right, up for you. Oh, a couple good singer-songwriters, if you will. 355, Billy Joel, 52nd Street versus 451, Jackson Brown, For Every Man.
I've never really dove I don't have anything against Jackson Brown. I think he's got a great voice, a really cool style. I've just never really been compelled to dive into an album, so this is simple for me. I'm a big Billy Joel fan. I think 52nd Street, I know there's a couple of albums that I like, um, a good bit more than this one, but this is a great album nonetheless, so this is easy for me just based off familiarity, so I'm going, 52nd Street.
All right. Can't fault you there. Have you ever listened to his album Late for the Sky? That's the one that everyone kind of points to. It's really good. It's definitely very singer-songwriter type record, very low key, sparse. It's a great album. I don't go back to Jackson Brown a lot, but I do love his records. He's one of those guys that I don't think about a lot, but if I
Right.
put on one of those early records, I will listen to it and enjoy it. But I totally get what you're saying. I need to listen to more of his early stuff. Okay, I'm ready.
All right. You've got Santana, his self-titled album, versus Simon and Garfunkel's Parsley, Sage, Rosemary, and Thyme, and that's 149 versus 202.
Yeah. This is one for me. I was thinking about this last night because I'm a big early Santana fan. Oh my gosh. I mean, I love Carlos Santana. I love the early records. We've talked about Santana before. I mean, he's just such a killer guitar player. And what he did and what Santana did as a band and bringing together the different influences that they did, Latin, rock and roll, blues, just incredible. It's really hard to ever pick, especially with that. If it was Abraxas, I would be even more conflicted. The thing is with that Simon and Garfunkel album, and then there's a couple in a row there, Bookends being one of them, just stellar songwriting. I was looking back at this, just so Scarborough Fair is on here, Homeward Bound. This album to me is such a great complete record. We talk about records that start off strong or end strong.
Mhm.
I might actually have a new vote for greatest ending to an album, and I think you know where I'm headed with this. 7 o'clock news, Silent Night.
Yeah, it's great.
I don't know. I mean, it gives me chills even thinking about it because of the time period, Vietnam era, everything that was going on in our country, and to have that as the end to the record when you start it with songs like Homeward Bound and Scarborough Fair. It's just a beautiful album. I think it's one of the greatest folk, and I'm really, air quoting there, folk records. It's one of the greatest ever made. So I'm Simon and Garfunkel here.
Very nice. Yeah, I think that's an easy choice for me. All right, what you got?
411, Bob Dylan, Time Out of Mind versus 95, Miles Davis, Bitches Brew, one of the greatest album covers ever.
Um, Time Out of Mind's a great album. It really is. But we are talking about Bitches Brew. I will say this is an album that I haven't quite connected with, but I will continue to try just for my respect for the genre, a huge jazz guy. And I know there's moments there that I really like. This is not avant-garde. This is fusion, jazz rock. So it's experimental. It's definitely challenging. Um, but I think it does so in a melodic way. You just have to be patient for it. And there's breakthroughs. There's an album from Freddie Hubbard called Red Clay that does this, but to me on a more palatable stage, a more palatable approach. So I'm going to continue to try with this album, and just based off of who this is and the album itself, I have to go with this. I mean, if this was, you know, one of Bob Dylan's signature early mid albums, maybe. But I'm Bitches Brew all the way.
All right. I still haven't wrapped my head around Bitches Brew. I'm like you, I'm still trying. There's stuff in there that you just hear and go, wow, that's incredible. And other times it's just a lot. So yeah, I'll probably be 80 years old and I'll still be listening to it going, okay, this is the last time. I'm going to try it one more time.
To me, it's not
Out of
like
respect.
Trout Mask Replica. It's not abrasive. I don't need to try that album again. I'm never gonna like it. I'm just not.
Yeah,
This is one. There are moments that I really, really like. So yeah, I'm going to continue to try. All right, so
yeah,
you've
man.
got a pretty good selection here. This is one of the tougher ones. 138, Dr. Dre's The Chronic versus 343, Depeche Mode, Violator.
Yeah. Well, I'm not the biggest hip hop fan in the world. I love classic hip hop. And then you on the flip side, you look at Depeche Mode. I love Depeche Mode. This was the album for me that really solidified me as a fan because I knew People Are People that had been on MTV. And I always thought that was a really cool song. Just Can't Get Enough, great song. And then this album comes out, and to me, this is where, at least for me, they became a
Band.
album band where they were putting together. They weren't singles anymore. They weren't new wave and, oh, this is really clever. This was Policy of Truth is one of the best songs ever. Enjoy the Silence. Such a great album. I bought when Dr. Dre, The Chronic came out. I wasn't a big NWA fan, even though I'd listened to NWA. I probably didn't even know at the time that Dr. Dre was a part of NWA, but I was really into F with Dre Day. Yeah, there F with Dre. When I first heard that, and I saw the video, and then I saw Let Me Ride. I was blown away. I listened to that record back in the day, being from a small town in North Georgia, and I just wanted to drive through Compton with the top down, listening to Dr. Dre. It was so amazing.
Yeah.
I absolutely love The Chronic. It is, to me, it is the best, most complete hip hop record, in my opinion, ever made. For me, I couldn't wrap my head around. NWA was very, uh, it was really street ready and talked about a lot of the issues. For me, The Chronic was more of a party album. It was more backyard pool party music, and it was a lot more upbeat than NWA. I love The Chronic. It's still my favorite hip hop record, so I'm going The Chronic all day.
Wow. All right.
Are you surprised by that? Did you think I was going to go
A little
Depeche
bit,
Mode?
little bit.
Yeah, Dr. Dre, man, I love him so much. All right, your last choice: 331, Neil Young, Tonight's the Night, versus 73, Led Zeppelin, Physical Graffiti.
Sorry, Neil. It's a great album, but Physical Graffiti is probably my second favorite double album of all time, behind one we've already picked, London Calling. Um, this album is perfect. I think every album up until this point and through Physical Graffiti is perfect. The band is, I mean, it's my first love for sure. And Physical Graffiti, it, to me, needed to be a double album because they had so many ideas going. And I feel like sometimes there's so many unsubstantiated, unwarranted double albums. And when you put out something like London Calling with just perfection after perfection, there's not a weak track. Same thing with Physical Graffiti. It is such a journey. I love that album. I do love Tonight's the Night. It's one of my favorite Neil Young records, but I'm more of a Led Zeppelin guy, so I'm definitely going Physical Graffiti.
It's so hard to pick against Physical Graffiti. Even at some point way down the road, when we get into all of the vinyl fours and pitting them against each other, we're going to have a tough choice. Someone is between Physical Graffiti and Rubber Soul or something like that. Honestly, man, I mean, Physical Graffiti is legit. And for those that know more of the earlier Zeppelin stuff, do not miss out on this. I mean, everyone knows Kashmir, but there's so many great songs on that record,
And
man.
the
Okay.
Light, Custard Pie. I mean, there's
Oh,
just so much stuff on that album that just it's perfect. It's truly
yeah.
perfect. Yep.
10 Years Gone and In My Time of Dying are probably my two favorite Zeppelin songs. In My Time of Dying is my favorite Led Zeppelin song. It's
Yeah. Definitely up there for me.
okay. Well, I'll go back through because now we got to make we got a redemption round. I get to go first this time. I'm going to rattle off the 8 that are out there that are in play,
Okay.
and then I'll see if I want to make a choice. See if you want to make a choice. here are the 8 that got cast off. We don't call them losers because they're all part of the top 500, but we have Minutemen, Double Nickels on the Dime, Jefferson Airplane, Surrealistic Pillow, Tom Waits, Mule Variations, Jackson Brown, For Every Man, Santana, self-titled Santana, Bob Dylan, Time Out of Mind, Depeche Mode, Violator, and Neil Young, Tonight's the Night.
You go
Okay.
first.
I go first, and my 4 right now: Wire, Pink Flag, Graham Parsons, Grievous Angel, Simon and Garfunkel, Parsley, Sage, Rosemary, and Thyme, and Dr. Dre, The Chronic. And I'm sitting here staring at the list, and I have a really tough choice, and I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to play this.
I know where you're going.
Well, but I have it's interesting. Yeah, I'm dropping Wire, Pink Flag, and I'm picking up Depeche Mode, Violator.
Too easy.
Yeah. So it's just like a lot of weeks where we get, this is why we love the redemption round, because 2 of our favorites get pitted against each other. So now I end up with Simon and Garfunkel, Dr. Dre, Depeche Mode, and Graham Parsons. Solid 4 that in a minute I'm going to have to narrow down to 2. All right. Your 4 right now as they stand are Smashing Pumpkins, Siamese Dream, Billy Joel, 52nd Street, Miles Davis, Bitches Brew, and Led Zeppelin, Physical Graffiti. Any trades you want to make?
Yeah, now I do. Sorry, Billy Joel. There's 2 albums that are better than 52nd Street. It is a great, great album, but it's not Pink Flag. So I'm going to switch out Billy Joel's 52nd Street for Wire's Pink Flag. And now I know, just like when you had the matchup previously where you're able to get the Smiths, I know why you discarded Violator, because I know how much that album means to you, because it means that much to me. It's one of my favorite albums of that era. So I knew when I looked at the rest of your list, I was like, he's dropping Wire and he's totally getting Depeche Mode.
If I had, well, I had a choice to make though, because I do love Neil Young, Tonight's the Night. I really do.
Yeah.
If I had taken Tonight's the Night, would you have taken Depeche Mode instead of Pink Flag?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I figured.
That album is pinnacle to me. It made me, I bought that album the same day I bought like a Tool. I think I bought Tool's Undertow, and that album, and Undertow was excellent. I was definitely more into that sound at the time. And I remember just being floored at how incredibly concise and simplistic yet just expansive Violator was. And you're right. I really liked the previous album, not Songs of Faith and Devotion. That's the follow-up. But the previous album, Music for the Masses, I really like that album.
Yeah.
It's great. That was close to being their first perfect album. But Violator was just absolute perfection. I don't think I took it out of my CD player for a month. I mean, it's perfect. That's an album for me that could go really, really deep. I'm surprised that is at 343 more than Smashing Pumpkins being at 363. That's just me personally. And I love them both. But yeah.
Which Behind the Wheel, is that on Music for the Masses?
Yep.
What album is, okay.
Such a great song.
Such a great song. That's when I really started to pay attention to Depeche Mode for the first time, because they had this mix. It was Behind the Wheel and Route 66, which was unbelievable.
Yep.
And then Violator comes out. Yeah. Okay. All right. Now we have tough choices to make. I've got to get down to 2 as well as you do. Right now, again, I have Graham Parsons, Simon and Garfunkel, Dr. Dre, and Depeche Mode. Okay. Dr. Dre is safe. Dr. Dre is moving on.
Wow.
I can't pull away from that. I think it's revolutionary. It changed the way I thought of hip hop. It laid the groundwork. I mean, it basically introduced Snoop Dogg.
Right.
Snoop D-O-double-G because of Dr. Dre.
Right.
And I think it made Dr. Dre a legend. He didn't have to do anything else. If he only released that record, that was enough. Now I've got a tough choice though, because I've got Graham Parsons, I've got Depeche Mode, and I have Simon and Garfunkel. As much as I love Graham Parsons, I'm casting that aside,
Yep.
and I'm down to Depeche Mode and Simon and Garfunkel. This is so tough. This is so tough for me. I am going to go with I'm gonna go with Depeche Mode, Violator.
Nice.
I'm gonna move it forward, and it is so hard because I love Simon and Garfunkel. I love that period, but Violator to me was such a game changer. It was it was an album for the time.
Right.
Everyone was listening to it, and I know you could say the same about Simon and Garfunkel with Parsley, Sage, Rosemary, and Thyme. I know you could say that, but in our generation,
Yep.
for me, Violator was one of those records. It was Violator was maybe not as big as Joshua Tree, but it was kind of in that same category
Hmm.
that everybody liked it. No matter who you were, you loved Depeche Mode at that point.
Yep.
That's
Agreed.
my two.
I think that's a wise choice.
I thought you might think so. All right. Now it's up to you.
All right. So I have Smashing Pumpkins Siamese Dream. I have I have Bitches Brew from Miles Davis. I have Wires, Pink Flag, and I have Led Zeppelin's Physical Graffiti. So let's just start there. That is without a doubt safe. I've said it's perfect, so you can't eliminate perfection. Now realize we will have perfection on perfection that will cause some sleep deprivation, but so that is definitely safe. I think the first one out for me is going to be Pink Flag. I do love that album, but it's not as much my music. I do love some good punk. And this is like a cross between punk and post punk. And I love that era. I just think as far as standing the test at the time, it's not Siamese Dream. It's not Bitches Brew. This is tough. This is tougher than you probably would think for me. I really meant what I said about Miles Davis, Bitches Brew. I want this album to be what everybody else thinks it can be, but for me right now, it's not. So I have to eliminate it. I have to go with Pumpkin Siamese Dream and Led Zeppelin's Physical Graffiti. To me, Siamese Dream I legitimately was dead broke at the time, didn't have any money, had to have this album. Like the day it was released, I had to have it. And I had all these CDs, and I called up one of the guys that worked at a music store that I ended up working at. I ended up working there 6 months later. And I conned him into trading. He bought a copy of that for me new, and I traded him 3 CDs that I had used for it. And they weren't a buy and sell place. Like I bartered like hell to get this album.
Hmm.
Because I heard Cherub Rock, and I thought, oh my God, these guitar riffs, what on earth are they doing? Because it was just so amplified compared to Gish. And Gish had some heavy moments, but this was different. So Siamese Dream means a lot to me. So yeah, Smashing Pumpkins, Siamese Dream, Led Zeppelin, Physical Graffiti, can't go wrong.
The disparity between our choices, because I would have picked the same too.
Yeah.
If I had been on your side, my final two would have absolutely been Siamese Dream and Physical Graffiti. Wouldn't even be close.
Yep.
The disparity though between our choices, yours are both guitar albums.
Yep.
I
Yep.
mean, just very high level. Mine are both more synthesizer,
Beats.
programming,
Yeah.
right? Depeche Mode and Dr. Dre. Neither of my choices are guitar records. I don't even know if there's a guitar in either. I guess maybe in Depeche Mode or yeah,
Yeah.
but they're not guitar records at all.
Right. But they're all
I
four
like
they're all four perfect albums. They really are. I love
yeah,
every one of these albums. So, and
yeah,
that doesn't always happen. So this is a good round for sure.
absolutely. Okay, in a minute we're gonna wrap up. We're gonna preview, but do you have two records for me that did not make the 500 that should have to follow in our tradition?
Yeah, I mean, you actually get to go first. So why don't you go first? I'm going to go real quick on
All right.
mine. Mine won't take any time at all.
I will as well. I was thinking about this last night because I wanted to add something new, and I actually was thinking back on what are some what's something that I haven't even talked about before? Something that would completely shock you. You've known me a long time. You know my music taste. So Bruce Springsteen in the 70s, you know how much I love Bruce Springsteen. The people who listen to this podcast have heard me talk about how much I love Bruce Springsteen, especially in the 70s and 80s. He had let's just call it almost Bruce Springsteen. If he was the older brother, the popular guy that made good grades and got into the best college and dated the cheerleading captain and was homecoming king and all that, if that's Bruce Springsteen, his younger brother who didn't show up to school most days and got in a lot of trouble and spent most of the time smoking cigarettes and drinking beer in a parking lot, but everybody loved hanging out with him. That's who Southside Johnny is. Southside Johnny and the Jukes.
Ashbury's
Are you?
Butte. Yes, for sure.
Yes. I love there. So that's the comparison to me. He's always been, because he was always connected with Springsteen. He recorded some songs that Springsteen wrote. Little Stevie did production work. They're both from the Asbury Park area. Southside Johnny was the more fun of the two between Springsteen. Springsteen's definitely one of the greatest songwriters of all time. Southside Johnny would be the guy with the Asbury Jukes that you want to go see live. Go in that sweaty club with 500 people. His album, Hearts of Stone, I think it was 1975. Let me look here. 70. Oh gosh, it was 78. Such a great record. There's a song on there in particular called I Played the Fool, which is just one of those songs that you go, I know this song was incredible live. He has some slower songs on there, but a lot of up-tempo stuff, has a Motown feel to it, definitely a 60s soul feel to it, a lot more brass. Springsteen had Clarence, but Southside Johnny had the brass band behind him, and they were killing it. And the fact that more people don't know about him is criminal. So that's choice number one. Number two for me, and I was thinking about this last night as well, because this is undeniable, and everybody knows this band and everybody loves them. But Electric Light Orchestra, also known as ELO, little album they did called Out of the Blue. It's just loaded with great songs.
I don't understand how that's not on the list for sure. I didn't realize that wasn't on there. That's crazy.
Turn to Stone, Sweet Talking Woman. And then, of course, the song that's become kind of an anthem song for people now, Mr. Blue Sky, which isn't even my favorite song on there. The first two are way bigger hits for me. But there's two songs in the middle of this album that are just incredible. One is called Night in the City, and the other one called Starlight. And I think those are the two songs on there, the glue of this record. They were so Beatlesque, but they added the orchestration, but they also got weird at times, which always made it interesting. Even in Turn to Stone, when they do that thing in the middle there, it's just, they were so brilliant. And I love Jeff Lynne so much. One of my favorite records of all time.
Yeah, Mr. Blue Sky, just like Pink Moon from Nick Drake, was the byproduct. The reason why that's such an anthem, Mr. Blue Sky was played on a commercial. I can't remember what it was, and that commercial was massive. So great album, great band. That's one of our friend Kevin's favorite bands. He loves ELO. Shocked, absolutely shocked that's not on the list. All right, I'll go real quickly here. I'm going to start with Graham Parker. Graham Parker, I mentioned Heat Treatment being my favorite album. That was incorrect. I spoke incorrectly. I do this all the time. I do love Heat Treatment, even though Graham Parker didn't like that album. He didn't like the way it was produced. It is great. I still think it's a 5-star record, but Howling Wind is his debut. That album, just like you talk about Springsteen, the serendipity here, it's like Springsteen's first record. Graham Parker was at his ultimate pub rock best with this Howling Wind album. It is so good. From the minute he kicks things off with White Honey, love that song. One of my favorite songs from him is Back to School Days. Oh, I just love this guy, and I don't know anybody that talks about him. I really don't. He's such a wonderful, wonderful songwriter. If you want to see something that puts emphasis on him, watch the movie This Is 40. Paul Rudd talks about him. Paul Rudd runs a record label. His claim to fame in this has to do with it. And I'm telling you, Graham Parker's just an absolute craftsman, one of my favorite songwriters. So, and I just don't understand how that's not there. One of the best debuts out there. And then I'm going to go with an album that I just do not understand how X's Los Angeles and Wild Gift are on this list, but Under the Big Black Sun is not. It is my,
Right.
yeah, Los Angeles is blistering, one of the best punk debuts ever. Johnny Hit and Run, Pauline, that song is so great. That whole album is just, it is LA punk at its best. It is so good. It's undeniable. But my favorite album is Under the Big Black Sun. Howling Wolf, Hungry Wolf to kick off the album is great. And the best song they ever recorded is Blue Spark. I love one of my favorite punk songs because it sounded like nothing else. Just the jagged guitar, Billy Zoom's guitar on that is just absolutely incredible. I just don't understand why this album doesn't get the acclaim that the first and the third album do. So I got to go Under the Big Black Sun from X.
I love it. Highly, highly influential band too.
Yep.
Probably one of those bands that 95% of the population knows nothing about, but most of the bands that you're listening to were probably influenced by them and would reference them as, I mean, they because they had sort of the weird rockabilly influences. They were kind of where the Ramones pulled doo-wop, X pulled rockabilly and made it their own punk version. Pretty cool. All right. Last thing we're going to do, we're going to wrap up here is, as we always do, we're going to preview round 13. Now, next episode you hear will be a recap of the previous 4 rounds. We'll recap our latest group of Sweet 16. But let's go ahead and give people what they want, which is a preview of the following, which will be round 13. You go first, and you're going to have, I'm not even going to do the ranks. I'll just quickly do the artist and the album. The OJ's Backstabbers versus Pearl Jam Vitology. And then you go Barry White, Can't Get Enough versus Simon and Garfunkel, Bookends. That's funny. We just talked about that. Then the Byrds, the notorious Byrd Brothers versus the Rolling Stones Now, exclamation point. And your final one is Mott the Hoople, Mott versus Cat Stevens, T for the Tillerman. My choices, my matchups. Jerry Lee Lewis, All Killer No Filler, the Anthology versus Funkadelic, Maggot Brain. Then we go Television, Marquee Moon versus Raekwon, Only Built for Cuban.
Links.
Yeah.
Yep.
Joni Mitchell, Blue versus the Pogues, Rum, Sodomy, and the Lash. And then finally, Sam Cooke, Portrait of a Legend, 1951 to 1964 versus Neil Young with Crazy Horse, Everybody Knows This Is Nowhere. Ooh,
yep.
That's some diversity right there.
Yes, sir.
Can't wait. All right, we'll wrap up here. Merry Christmas, everyone. We'll be back. You'll hear this one after Christmas, and then we'll be back for an episode that I guess won't come out until after New Year's. So we just keep rolling along. We're after the next round of 16, we will be halfway through, which is crazy. Pretty crazy. 4 more rounds or episodes, and we'll already be halfway through. So thanks everyone for joining.